because I had been hit by a vehicle
Oh.
while in a crosswalk, and it was this like same exact intersection where a woman had just died, like not even a year prior. And I just felt so defeated. And I had incredible, people to fight that fight with. We just need to get European principles into US cities. Just make a practice of finding and appreciating beauty wherever you are, because there is beauty everywhere.
Wow, we made it.
We made it.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. There's so much happening around us. I'm like, at the same time, like, okay, I let go. This is Barcelona. Yes. And Barcelona's loud.
It can be, but even whenever you're in a sort of loud plaza like this, it's noises of birds and people, and sometimes bikes can be a little bit loud. But it's not a lot of car noise right here, and I appreciate that.
That's true, yeah.
The sound of children playing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, welcome everyone to another new episode, as you know, in Barcelona on a public bench and at a superia.
Yes, the superblock.
Tell us a bit, who are you and where did you brought us today?
My name's Courtney. Do you want me to hold this?
Sure.
Okay, great. My name's Courtney, and I am from Dallas, born and raised in Texas, and I lived my first 30 years in DFW, one metroplex where it's very difficult to own a car, or it's very difficult to not own a car. And after I graduated from architecture school, I decided I didn't want to drive anymore. I wanted to live in a real city and actually be able to walk places. And as I began to pursue that in Dallas, I realized that it was incredibly difficult. But I did it anyway because, that's the Texan in me. I'm a little stubborn.
Okay.
But after I started, walking everywhere, taking public transit, I, didn't have a car. I began to join these communities of people where we're advocating for better transit, better urbanism in Dallas, and housing as well. Because living in downtown Dallas, I became very aware of just the problems of the housing crisis and people who don't have shelter. So I did that. I was downtown for 4 years, and I love downtown Dallas so much. And there's so many people, so many friends there that are making incredible impacts. And I do plan on returning, but I was very, very tired.
So much in the intro already. Wow. A real city versus a city that makes you tired. For those who don't know Good Place, this is an interview series about why people live where they live or why they leave. Or, yeah, sure. And it's okay when people cross the video because we're in cities. And it's also an interview series about getting to know people okay, what can we do about making this a good place, So rolling up your sleeves. And what brought you to Barcelona then?
So, I originally decided that I was going to move to a real city. So I knew it was somewhere in Europe. And I just wanted to spend some time in a European city where, the infrastructure is more built for people and not for the car. In Dallas, we like to say that it wasn't a city designed for cars, it was destroyed for cars. And so I knew it was going to be somewhere, so I took a trip. I did my little 2-week Euro summer trip.
Searching.
And I did 6 different cities.
By yourself?
With my mom.
Okay,
yeah.
great.
She kind of refused to let me go alone, and I don't really blame her. But
she wanted to make sure that you found the right place.
Right. And she had never been to Europe either, so. We went to London and Paris, and then we were here in Barcelona. We went to Venice and Rome and Florence.
Wow.
And loved it all. I mean, everything was very beautiful. London even gave us beautiful weather the day that we were there. But
Do you have a list with pros and cons?
no,
Okay.
because the moment I came to Barcelona, there was this overwhelming sense that I was supposed to be here. Like I could feel it in my gut. Like there was a gravity pulling me here. And I never felt that outside of Dallas. And there's plenty of cities that I love, but I never experienced the like, I have to move here. Like I'm supposed to be here. And so I decided then.
So from all the cities you visited, you chose Barcelona.
Yes.
Well done, Barcelona. And why?
Mainly because it's a city where people flourish. You could look around and you could see people flourishing in all different parts of the city. Because obviously, a lot of the touristy things, there's a ton of tourists, and that can be a problem. But I could see people thriving. And specifically, there was a moment where I looked out of my window. The window of my hotel like opened up, and I like kind of just poked my head out, and I was watching, and I could see people taking their bike share bike along the bike lane, on the street beneath this window, and I'm thinking they look so content. And so a year later, I became the person commuting in that bike lane.
Looking all content.
Yes. Yes. And I pass that hotel every day now and on my way to school.
It's a reminder.
As a reminder that, you know what, I think this is the point of travel is
Look at this.
to find, I think the point of travel is to look for, to find the beauty, to admire, to study, and then to replicate that beauty wherever your place is, right? Obviously, you don't have to move to Barcelona to, enjoy bikeability
No.
or to bike to work or school or whatever it is that you're going to. But I think that was something that I did take home and I started doing. I started taking my bike to work back in Dallas.
Please go ahead. Yes. It's funny how everybody stops for the camera, whereas maybe we should put a sign up. Please keep walking. Have you ever cycled in the Netherlands?
No, I haven't, sadly. It's a goal.
Just to give a different perspective on things.
Yeah.
There are no bike lanes here.
Yeah.
Here in the Superia, everyone like just runs through the crowds.
Yeah.
That's like
Technically-
suicidal.
Technically, the Superia, you're supposed to cycle around. You're not supposed to cycle through here, but I think people clearly feel safe doing it.
It's where
anyway.
people flourish, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Power to the people. Nice. So it's only been, 4 months since you're here?
Yes. Just 4 months.
And you're aiming on staying for how long? You already know?
About 2 years.
Okay.
So I'll start a master's program in the fall for urban design. I'm not sure which one yet. I'm still deciding. I'm in the process of the application and choosing which one, but they have a bunch of programs here, and I assumed that it's best to learn in a city that's actually doing urbanism really well.
Yeah. And, superblock, superias, a lot of placemaking. Actually met someone working for placemaking for Barcelona Municipal yesterday. Yeah, there's a lot happening around here. Huh? And what would you find your own role in it? What is it you have in mind?
Here in Barcelona, I think that my role is more to rest and just to study, to take it in, to kind of dream a little bit for Dallas, because my goal is to move back to Dallas and start to just be more, effective in the change that I'm trying to make. For
Do you want
example,
to take learnings from here back to Dallas?
I do. And, one example is we started this petition before, 2 years ago in Dallas, in downtown specifically, because I had been hit by a vehicle while in a crosswalk. And it was this like same exact intersection where a woman had just died, like
Oh,
not
really?
even a year prior. And so my friend and I put together this petition to pedestrianize the street. And basically our city council was like, we're not doing that. But we'll repaint the crosswalk. And I'm like,
To make it more visible.
yeah. But now they are pedestrianizing. So now they're going to pedestrianize for FIFA. So that's progress.
For World Cup.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So something like that needs to happen before action is granted, huh?
Apparently.
So you're here on a mission.
I am. To rest and to refocus and take in as much information as possible to bring back to Dallas.
And what made you be so tired in Dallas?
Man, the burnout.
Oh, yeah.
The burnout is an epidemic, I think.
Okay.
Which honestly, the way that I think about burnout is if you are continually pouring your energy into achieving your goals and you're not getting anywhere, then you're going to get burnt out. And I think after just a long time of, advocating for the Dallas that I wanted and my friends wanted and I knew would be sustainable for the future. Future generations want this, right? They want walkability. And not seeing a budge, not seeing any
Change.
Yeah, not seeing any change. I just felt like I needed a break. Whenever I got back from my Europe trip in 2024, we started gearing up for lobbying at the Texas House of Representatives specifically, and the Senate as well, to lobby against a bill that would aim at defunding public transit. So not completely defund, but it would reduce funding by like half, but effectively like 70%. And so it felt like we had made some progress in transit, and then the Texas politicians were like, actually, we're going to take away some of your funding and we're going to make it worse. And I just felt so defeated. And I had incredible, people to fight that fight with.
Did you work for a company or self-started, or is it bottom up? Is it?
Yeah. It's grassroots
Yeah.
group. We started like, I think the summer of 24 or 23, 24. And it's called DATA, Dallas Area Transit Alliance.
Okay.
That group has my heart. And we did effectively, like, the bill didn't go through, but politicians and like city leaders continued to push back because suburban leaders really wanted to balance their books and not have to pay so much for public transit, even though that's what they signed up for. And I just needed a break from all of the fighting. I just wanted to live somewhere where I could walk in peace or take metro or take public transportation in general in peace without it being a fight, without somebody threatening to take it away,
So how long was the fight?
It was roughly a year. I mean, it was kind of,
Gave it you all.
yeah, it was kind of like more than that. I mean, I had been downtown for 4 years, and so kind of that whole time was spent advocating. But it was like a year where I actually kind of got serious and we got organized. So
Feels like revenge when you return.
maybe.
Oh.
No, I think that they're making positive changes, and the advocates, my friends that are still back in Dallas, continue to make improvements, even if it's slow.
And you're saying burnout is an epidemic. Is that because so many people are so embedded into a particular mission or goal for themselves or for their surrounding?
I think
Little
that
change makers.
I think that's part of it. I think that there's burnout that can show up in all different areas of life, because obviously work is probably the most prominent. Because, I graduated from architecture school in like 2019. So I worked in different offices for 6 years in
Mm-hmm.
different capacities, right? And it felt like no matter what you do, you really aren't going to like make that big of an impact, or you're not going to get where you want to be unless you're willing to sacrifice your social life, sacrifice,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, any social life or other values that you have. Mine was advocacy. I was kind of told by my leadership in my office that, hey, maybe you need to take a step back from advocating for public transit. And it was like, but that's something that's so important to me. And if you're telling me that I can't be effective in both of these things, then that's incredibly disheartening.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, you lost your your goal.
yeah,
Mm.
but it's kind of expected, and I think a lot of different career paths, that you would give, 60-hour weeks, even like 50-hour weeks. I'm like, man, you're not giving any incentives. There's no bonuses. There's no raises.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're not, you're not giving any incentive to give up all these extra hours. Then I'm going to show up. I'm going to give you my 40 hours. I'll be efficient in those.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I'm
Yeah.
going to have to find something else to do with my time.
Yes.
That actually gives me life, that actually gives
Fulfillment.
me something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my faith is really important to me too. And so advocating in the community is essential to living out my faith. And so actually being able to do that and, making more money, making enough money, honestly, to live in the city can be really difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's part of it,
It's all these factors.
Yeah, it's all of it all together. And, the social aspect too, how difficult it is to connect with people. I always find it much easier to connect with people in a city. But whenever you live in a place like Dallas, and a lot of your friends, especially, in faith communities or different advocacy communities,
Mm-hmm.
people live all over this one metroplex. It's really hard to get together on a weeknight.
Mm-hmm.
Even on the weekends, it can be very difficult. And if you don't have a car, you choose to live without a vehicle, then it makes it that much harder.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I was burnt out socially as well.
Mm-hmm. So you needed to zoom out.
I did. I needed to take some
You
time.
were too zoomed in.
I was. Absolutely.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you also see it around you happening.
Yeah.
Do they all come to Barcelona? No, I'm just kidding.
No, actually, I think that some people are better at dealing with burnout than others. But I think what's really freeing is getting to the point where I'm like, I don't think this is the future I want. Looking at my boss and being like, I don't want that. Or realizing, oh, you only got to where you were because you had a really awesome partner who like did all of the other work for you. And I'm not married. I don't have a partner. So it can be very difficult to be like, okay, yeah, it's going to be different to get to where I want to be. And staying here in this place, I'm probably not going to get to where I want to be. And the sooner I accept that and change where I am, the sooner I can actually get to where I want to be.
I think a lot of people have no idea, don't have that figured out for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Being stuck.
Yeah. I think a lot of us are stuck because we don't have time. That's the problem with burnout, right? Is you get so stuck in this place of, I have no energy and I don't know what to do about that you don't actually really reflect on that. You just feel defeated to the point of maybe even feeling numb. Maybe you don't feel anything at all. Instead of actually analyzing your situation and realizing that the best solution is actually to leave. And it's not always to go to Europe. I don't want to advocate that everybody move to Europe.
Europe is the solution to all your problems.
But it might be.
Are you still advocating, but for this different topic, different purpose?
Yeah.
Getting people to Europe.
No, we just need to get European principles into U.S. cities. That's what I think that's what would really help the burnout epidemic. Just the idea of coming and sitting in a plaza with a cup of coffee and having a chat with a friend on a lunch break can make a real difference.
Recording a podcast.
Yeah. Exactly.
Helps.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had conversations with people here about this topic?
I have. And I think
Did they give you different perspective and things?
there's an incredible sense of just enjoyment in life here. Like, people know how to enjoy life. People know how to stop and rest. People know how to just, if you don't have a lot of money, you go take a walk. Whereas in the U.S., it's it's funny in Dallas, it's very difficult to take a walk sometime.
Yeah.
You get hit by a vehicle. Or you walking down the wrong street and somebody thinks that, you're getting into trouble or something. But yeah, I think that there's a sense of people know how to enjoy, but they still feel the weight of, how hard it is to become a homeowner here. There's a housing crisis here, just like in many places across the world.
Yeah. Sure.
But
I mean,
yeah.
Is that life fulfilling to be a homeowner?
I don't think so.
This is the thing. It's what people also have in their minds, of what they think or is valuable or important in life.
Mm-hmm.
You can be a homeowner and don't be healthy, and doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, my sister did this. Before she was 25, she bought her first home, and then she sold it 2 years later.
Thanks. Yeah.
Because the only place that she could really afford a home, and she got a good job without ever going to university. So, awesome in sales, very hard worker. So she buys this house out in the exurbs, further out than the suburbs, and realize she's so far away from everything that she's isolated. And she's not even somebody that claims to like people, but she knew that she was too isolated. And so she moved to downtown with me. Same building, not the same apartment, but we still have our space. But that was this incredible realization that, this thing that you've been told.
Go for it, please. Thank you. Eye opener. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. I'm gonna quickly grab this. Just quickly, I want to show people, a bit of this great surrounding we're in. Last week I had a conversation with someone about living in a suburb. This was Toronto area, and it was quite special because they also thought, let's go somewhere else where there's more space, more room, leave downtown Toronto, go live in a suburb. And she's not happy. Not at all. Just kids, family life, great. But where's the social fabric in the suburb, and everything by car, and it's hard to build community. I mean, it's choices that people make, but as you say, you sit on this plaza, you look around, I mean, wow, there's life. Evening, I've been making also filming on Carrera de Girona, kids playing late at night with their grandmas and grandpas, and I'm like, amazing. And that's la vida. That's life.
Yes. I like to focus on living life to the full. It's a little bit different here. It's like la vida. I don't remember. My professor just told me this yesterday. I can't remember, but that's
Paying
what I see
attention.
here. I know. That's what it is here. Whenever you go do school pickup, everybody goes and they wait outside the school together. They just walked there. And so parents are chatting with each other. I go pick up kiddos from school because I teach English. And I haven't met a ton of the other parents yet. And it's difficult to actually have conversation because I don't speak Catalan. But it's beautiful to watch this community that happens just because we're not living life in a box. Whereas in the US, whenever I go pick up my niece from school, I'm sitting in a vehicle. Everybody else is sitting in a vehicle. There's no conversations happening. Even if I happen to see somebody that I know, it's like, oh, and that's the extent of it. How do we have life to the full whenever we can't socialize organically? You know?
There's too much distances between each other. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how have you experienced these first 4 months?
It is incredibly beautiful. Moving to a new city is really hard.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult.
In what sense?
Not knowing the language,
Okay.
learning a new language is hard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just imagine that this is probably why children sleep so much, because I'm taking in so much information every day.
Yeah.
Yes. Even just like going to the grocery store and shopping and trying to figure out, why is the milk not refrigerated? The eggs aren't either. Everything's like in different places and I'm not sure exactly why it's different. And I don't recognize any of the products. Like the deodorant here is different than in the US. I don't recognize like any of the different brands. And so little things like that can be exhausting, but also like finding housing and finding a job here, really difficult. Now I live with this incredible Catalan family that they just have accepted me into their home and made me feel like I'm just the big sister. And, we'll cook together or, we'll play. I'm speaking English with the daughter and I speak Spanish or Castellano with the mom.
Cool.
And it's been so much fun, but it's so against what I was going for originally. I wanted to find my own apartment where I could live by myself and then bring my dog, because I have a dog that still lives in Texas with my mom. And that's just, I've had to accept that that's not going to work right now.
Go for it, please. Yes. Yeah.
And
that still can get into place, right?
exactly. Yeah, those things can still happen. But having to accept whenever things do not go according to your plan, it's...
It's a danger of having a plan.
Yes. Exactly.
Sorry.
There's always a greater plan. You just have to accept that there's...
Some things you just have to flow with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's what I've met here, is there's this attitude of like, oh, everything will be okay. Like whenever I've talked about, oh, I can't find an apartment or I can't find a job because, this job fell through because of whatever paperwork, bureaucracy. It's like, oh, you'll find something. You'll find it. It'll be fine. There's just this sense of it'll all be okay. Like, don't worry. It'll all work out.
Are you starting to take that in and adapt to that as well?
I think so.
Yeah.
And I thought that I was already like that kind of person that's like, oh, everything will be okay. Very like peace and like gratitude, like rule my life. But then I moved here and I was like, I don't think I am.
I've not been waving that much during your podcast episode of this one.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, let's go.
I think this illustrates it though, just how lively this place is.
Okay, but then, you still also need something to look out for. So that would mean you finding your job. And then with that job, you could be able to rent a room or apartment or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Another box ticked.
Yes.
What else?
I mean, the next thing is choosing which master's program and getting funding for that would be ideal. My other goal in moving here was to write. I started a project that I haven't given myself a ton of time to work on.
What kind of writing?
I guess kind of like a book. Right now I'm just kind of writing in Substack, but just about burnout. And and how I think that in the US specifically, there's systems that are designed for burnout. You know, we're experiencing burnout by design, and we could redesign and rebuild the systems that are burning out Americans. And I think we're ready for it. It's just a matter of we all have to do it together.
Yeah, but that's a nice another mission.
Yes.
It's like how to, don't just accept how things are and in systems, but then how can we break those systems, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. But that's part of, I think, living here is getting to experience some of the sustainability while also acknowledging that there are systems here that are still not working for people. I mean, obviously, people here are pretty burnt out with the tourism. There's some anti-tourist, graffiti if you go to certain neighborhoods. But, the housing is also an issue. So understanding that there are a lot of things here that are incredibly sustainable and they're doing, they've designed systems to be sustainable, to, create more human flourishing. And those are systems that we could replicate. Not all of them, but I mean, just expanding bike lanes, for example. I think that would be like the number one priority of any major city in the US. Because everybody is so concerned about traffic and how do we, reduce traffic. I think if you, had some common sense, you would know that adding one more lane isn't going to do that. But for some reason, we keep doing it. Yes.
But it's interesting, huh? Because your mission is about hardware and about software.
Yes.
No. It's about, designing, opening up cities through design, but also redesign systems so people can, don't overflow. Just just remain their sanity.
Yes.
Huh. So if I would ask you, what is a good place to you?
A good place is somewhere people can thrive, that people flourish. You can live life to the full.
I think you're in a good place at the moment.
I think so. I think so.
For that.
Yes.
Is there anything you would love to share with others that are watching and listening? As a, say, final statement or piece of advice from your experience? Could be about why people should move to Barcelona. Yeah.
I think I would just encourage people to romanticize their life wherever they are. Like, you can live in the suburbs, but like you take yourself on a little walk and get yourself a little treat, romanticize it. And that doesn't mean you have to like share that on social media or whatever, which honestly I encourage you to, because normalizing walking is great for everyone. But I think just finding beauty, just making a mental note or taking a photo of it, whatever it is that you want to do to appreciate that beauty, just make a practice of finding and appreciating beauty wherever you are, because there is beauty everywhere, whether you're in the car sprawl suburbs or in a beautiful city like Barcelona. There's beauty to be appreciated, and it's just a matter of making time to appreciate it.
And allowing yourself the time.
Exactly.
As you do.
Yes.
You show it as well. The smile. From ear to ear says enough about how happy you are with the move you've made.
Yes.
So congrats with that.
Thank you.
And yeah, a lot of things to process. Even for me, like we can just keep on going and things that we do and Sometimes we just have to. If somebody else doesn't do it, we just have to hit that brake, the brake pedal, and say, "Oh, well, listen, just go and zoom out for a second, and then evaluate, reevaluate, and decide which direction or alley or street you're gonna walk into next." So yeah, might be doing that as well. Thanks for the advice,
Absolutely.
and thanks for your time.
Thanks for yours.
Good. Everyone watching, thanks for tuning in on this Superia. What's the name again of the Superia?
Well, the superblock.
Superblock.
This one specifically, I don't know the name of it, but it's on Consell Descent, which is a pedestrianized street. So this is my street now.
You hear? Now she's also claiming streets in Barcelona. 4 months in and already claiming streets. And you can watch this episode on that street through our Good Place Map of Connection, which we're going to launch and have been launched by then. Thisisagoodplace.com. So check it out so you know what it's about. I'll be shooting some extra B-roll in a second, so take you on in this beautiful view. And wow, amazing architecture. And I'm gonna miss this. I'm gonna miss this view because I'm gonna hop in a plane soon again, go back home. For everyone watching, please subscribe and like. You know the drill. And let's see what and where. Please go ahead. One more time. See who's gonna be sitting next to me on their next episode. Have a nice day. Talk soon. Ciao.